Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to Livestream Tuesday. I hope you guys have had a great weekend and that your week has started well as well. Thank you everyone for getting involved so early on in the live chat room. I have just been organising things, setting up this live stream, so I haven't managed to jump in there as much as I normally do, but we have Kathleen and Kevin, King Nero, Billy, Linda, Z, and Chet, and Civil Ian, and Vince is in the house, Carla moderating as well, and Karen and Jennifer, and Susan and Dennis are in the house as well. Hello guys, thank you for joining me tonight. And a big shout out to the moderators as they will be going through the screen throughout this live stream. Carla's already in there like I mentioned, and they are in blue with their names and have a wrench next to their names. So thank you moderators for doing such a great job on these live streams. So let me get you guys up on screen if it is possible. Hopefully this is all going to work. And there we have it. It is on screen. I just want to start the live stream by addressing a message that I did receive from Vince just before this live stream and from Laura as well over on Patreon. And we are addressing some sad news because sadly last week we lost a winger, and it was Kevin, and it's Kevin Starbends, who was active over on the Wings of Pegasus supporters page over on there in that group. And unfortunately he suffered a massive heart attack and passed away last week, and it's very sad news. And it was Kathy, his wife, who posted in his account on the Wings of Pegasus supporters group to let everybody know that he did pass away last week. So our collective condolences go to Kathy, and he was a very musical guy, and I'm sure wherever he is now, he's still playing his guitar and maybe even tuning in tonight. I'm sure that in the life after this one, they've probably got something a lot better than the internet in order to get a connection. But just to pass on those thoughts to Kathy, that it's just something that was totally unexpected. And to mention that at the beginning of the live stream, very sad news, but Kevin is unfortunately going to have to be joining us from another plane, but I'm sure that he is. So Kevin, wherever you are, I hope you've still got that guitar on you, and he probably will do. But very sad news to begin with, and our thoughts and just everything that we wish the best for Kathy, and it must be such a difficult time for her at the moment. But I just wanted to mention that at the beginning. And again, thank you Vince and Laura for sending me that message. It is something that when I was setting up the stream, it kind of knocked me for six a bit, and hopefully everything will work tonight. But if I do miss out something, it's probably because of that, because of reading that. Obviously it's not something that you do want to read about. But we will move on with the live stream, and we will continue just in the normal fashion as Kevin was used to, and this one will be in his honor. We will just keep on doing what we do, and like I said, I'm sure that he's tuning in from another place somewhere. So let's get into this live stream, and thank you just for joining me guys, and for making this such a great place to come and visit you on a Tuesday night and a Saturday night. And thank you for coming to visit me on these live streams as well, because it is such a community feel, and that is something that goes over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group as well. All of you guys over there just are such a great community, and I know that over on that page there's so much involvement from everybody, and just being able to have that community over there is so important, I think, for everybody just to have some common ground where you can go and talk to people and interact. And these live streams are the place where I get to interact with you guys as well. So thank you for joining me and making these live streams such a great place to be. But let me get the names of my patrons up on screen, because these people make the live streams possible and everything that I do possible on the channel. So a massive shout out to these people at the bottom of the screen. You know who you are, and they also do pop up in the super chat window during these live streams as well. So let's get that super chat window up on screen, because we have had a little bit of action in there already. So thank you guys so much for these donations. And right at the top of the list, we have Deborah, who has donated $9.99. Thank you for that. And the message is, hope I'm the earliest bird. So thank you for that, Deborah. And you were by about 4 hours, was it maybe? Because Orlando came in after that with a donation of $2. So thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, the early bird spiked the likes with lots of thumbs up. So Deborah is at the top of that list, and that was at 5:34 this morning. So thank you for that, Deborah. And Orlando followed in at 9:39 a.m. again in the morning. So thank you so much for all of those messages and these early donations and the messages before the stream even starts, because this interaction is great. And I know that sometimes I do jump in at about 11 o'clock, but I was a little bit busier earlier today and this evening, so apologies for that. But thank you, Deborah and Orlando, for those early donations. Also Marilyn, who has donated $5 as well, and this was at 1:37 p.m, so we're now in the afternoon. And the message is, hi Phil and everyone, congrats on the 155,000 subs. I will be part of the catch up crew. Have fun, with a heart. So thank you for that, Marilyn. And yes, this is something that I did notice earlier. That subscriber count just keeps on going up. It does sometimes go up quite quickly, and sometimes it goes up a little bit more slowly, but just going up at all is fine by me. So thank you everyone for hitting the thumbs up, and that's a good opportunity to say, if you do get a chance to hit that thumbs up, it'd be much appreciated, because we are at 112 likes so far, and we are going to be aiming tonight. Let's get the goal up on screen. It is 340. So we're setting ourselves quite a high target for tonight's live stream on a Tuesday night. We will see how we get on. So we're at 111 at the moment, and if you can leave a like as you come through the door, that'd be much appreciated. And this is the thing also, people hitting the subscribe button as well as the like button. Thank you guys for subscribing and making that total over 155,000 now. It's another crazy number, but we will keep on going and see where we end up. But thank you, Marilyn, for that donation. And we've had another donation from Lethia as well. Thank you for this. It's for $5. The message is, thanks to all who are helping with my fundraiser for Music Cares on Facebook. I'm humbled that my birthday can be used to serve others. You guys are amazing, with a heart. So thank you for that, Lethia. And this is just referencing something that Lethia posted over on the Wings of Pegasus supporters group on Facebook. Also messaged me yesterday about, rather than having a present or something, it's a thing that I think is quite common nowadays, for you to then say they'd rather have donations to a charity rather than people give them presents. And that's something that Lethia decided to do, and I think that a lot of you guys got involved over on the Wings of Pegasus supporters group, so thank you for that, and donated to Music Hairs. And unfortunately on Facebook, I'm still yet to go over there and check the message from Lethia, but I tried to do that last night, but I'm unable to donate on Facebook, but I'm sure that there's a page and a link that I can go to in order to have a donation and send a donation there as well. So thank you for that, Lethia, and everyone else for getting involved with such a well-meaning charity and good cause. And I'm just going to scroll up to make sure that I don't miss any of these donations, but thank you, Lethia, for that. Jeannie has donated $5. Thank you for that, Jeannie. The message is, happy Tuesday, Phil and Wingers. I hope everyone is well, and spike the likes, and happy birthday, Lethia, with some rock horns. So thank you for that donation, and we can all have a happy birthday shout out to Lethia on the live stream. But then also, I saw somewhere in the chat room while I was setting it up that it might be Donna's birthday as well. And I'm not sure whether that is correct, or maybe I misread that. But if Donna is in that live chat room, maybe she can clarify if it is Donna Colwell's birthday. Then we'll get to the bottom of it and we will be able to find out. And if it is, then we can wish Donna a massive happy birthday as well. So thank you for this, Jeannie. And Carl has donated $5. Thank you for that, Carl. The message is, the usual, or for pizza or Chinese, no McDonald's please. And that is lucky because I had a McDonald's tonight, but it was my healthy version of McDonald's, which is a Big Mac, and that's basically protein, a bit of sauce, maybe some sugar in the tomato ketchup, and the bun, which is carbohydrates, and it's white, so it's not particularly good. But my theory is that if you burn off the sugar, then it should be fine. And instead of fries, we can have apple and grapes. So that's what I have. So I have a burger, or a Big Mac, it's quite big, and some grapes and some apple in there instead of the fries. And then I have a drink, so it's moderately healthy. And I also have a hot apple pie because it's got the word apple in there. That's got to be healthy. So it's my version of a healthy McDonald's, but not really, but hopefully it's probably as much as you can get away with. But that's my argument anyway. So apologies for that, Carl, because I did have one tonight, but I hadn't had fast food in quite a long time. I was talking about having a Chinese for quite a long time, but that's Carl's fault. But I went for a McDonald's in the end. But thank you for this, Paul, as well, who has donated $5. The message is, let the love flow. Spike those likes. So great idea there from Paul. Let's have a plug of the mug while we're spiking the likes, because there it is. And you can get your hands on this underneath this video, but before you do, you'll have to stop yourself from getting over to teespring.com and just searching for Wings of Pegasus. You'll find all of the merchandise there, but there is going to be a 20% off sale Black Friday thing on the Wings of Pegasus page, and that's going to be starting at some point. It might be Thursday, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to clarify that with you guys. What I'll do is send a message out, and then maybe somebody can post that to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, so that you know when you can go in to get 20% off all of the merchandise on teespring.com, and that'll be everything: mugs, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever else is on there. You can really merch up over the weekend if you want to. So if you are wanting to get yourself a mug, it might be good just to hold off for a few days, or you could buy it now. You just won't get a discount, of course, but you might want to hold off for a few days, because then you might be able to get a couple of mugs. I've still got to get the purple and white mug to complete my collection, but just to throw that out there. And it's going to be one of those ones where you need to put a code in, and the code is going to be WINGS, WINGS, but that's only going to work later on in the week. If you put it in now, it's not going to work. So it's a Black Friday thing. Anyway, thank you so much for that donation, Paul. And let me just scroll down, because we've had another donation from Chet, and it's for $4.99. Thank you for that. The message is, and it's the guy lying down saying, how's it going? And he's very relaxed, I think, giving a thumbs up or waving. So thank you for that, Chet. And Kay has donated $5. Thank you for this, Kay. And the message is, when you started playing on In at the Deep End, you started in a major key, I think. Why was that a problem, or was it? So thank you for this, Kay. And I'm going to try and explain this in an understandable way. And when you have a major key or a minor key, there's one note that determines whether it's major or minor, so whether it's going to be sounding happy or sad. And the note that I'm talking about is the E. So for example, I'm in C minor. At least the backing track started in C minor, which means that when you play an E, the E that I was playing is effectively the major of the chord of C, but it was C minor, and that note is just going to sound wrong because it's not a note that you can get to fit. And this is something that myself and Daniel, when we're doing the In at the Deep End, had a good laugh about, because it was probably the only note on my fretboard that I'm just jumping in, because we haven't heard the backing before. I just thought, well, on the first In at the Deep End, I jumped in with an E, so I'm going to jump in with an E again. It just so happens that when you're playing in C minor, that an E is not the note. It's just the one note you do not want to jump onto, and that's exactly the note that I did jump onto. So anyway, it's because the major chord of C, you've got your octave of the root note, you've got your root note, you've got your fifth, you've got the octave, and then the next note you play determines whether it's going to be a major chord or a minor chord. And in C, that is an E for major. It's an E flat for minor. So it means that I'm jumping into the major key and it's a minor version of the chord. So however you think about it, I was just really unlucky with the note that I chose, because anything else would have been fine. If I'd gone to an F, I would have been fine. If I'd gone to an E flat, I would have been fine. I was right between the notes that I could have got away with. The one that I hit was just absolutely wrong. So hopefully that makes sense, but it's something that if you do play the guitar, I'm sure you understand when you're playing a chord and you're playing your root note and fifth octave, and then you're playing either your second finger or you're taking off your second finger with a bar chord I'm talking about here, and you'll be able to tell the difference between that major and minor chord and the happy and the sad sound of it. So that was just what I chose, and that's how it happened, and it's all there, you know, and we don't do any overdubs or re-record it. It is what it is, so it just happened to be very unlucky. And I'm just going to scroll up to make sure I don't miss anybody, but thank you, Kay, for that. And it is correct when you say that I started in a major key. That would have been the C major that I would have needed the chord to be in C, in order for that E to make sense. But I don't want to kind of lose everybody with the explanation, but hopefully that makes sense. I think maybe if you play an instrument, you'll understand a little bit more what I'm talking about. But thank you, Kay, for that question. So let me move on to Paula, who has donated $10. Thank you for that, Paula. And the message is, Phil, did you change your mind about wearing headphones for In at the Deep End with Daniel? Thought you mentioned using them after the first episode, not that you needed them. You sounded great. So thank you for that, Paula. And that is something that I did try, but it didn't work. And I'm trying to remember what happened. I think I just got massive feedback going through the headphones when I tried to do that. And I think it's because I have the microphone on here in order to be able to talk and for Daniel and the guest to be able to hear me, but then I also have my amplifier mic'd up, and there was something that was going on that I got a bit of a feedback loop that happened between the mic in front of the amp being quite sensitive, because it has to be, and the amp being turned up quite a lot, and then this microphone being turned up quite a lot. And when you start a Google Meets call, it just automatically maximizes the volume of whatever microphone you're using, because you need to be able to be heard by the person on the other end of the call. So it just does that. So by boosting the volumes of all of the mics, it just meant I got this massive feedback problem, and that's certainly what happened, and I couldn't use my headphones. So I just had to try and judge the levels and get it loud enough so that I could hear it, but that it didn't feed back in any kind of way. So that is correct, that I was going to use headphones, but then it just wasn't applicable, unfortunately, because of the feedback. But thank you, Paula, for that. Lucy has donated $1.99 as well. Thank you for that, Lucy. And it says message retracted. So maybe that was a mistaken click on a button and then the message is gone. But thank you for that donation, Lucy. And Perry has donated $20. Thank you so much for that, Perry. And the message is, Phil, honestly, the reason your channel is growing is because you are such a genuinely nice guy. You want to help people, and in a kind way. The growth is all you. So thank you for the kind words, Perry. And I think it's pretty much just at least a 50-50 thing. I see it as more maybe 75% and 25% the other way, so that it's you guys, because you're hitting the subscription button and to subscribe to the channel. I'm just doing something. I'm just making a few videos here or there and hopefully explaining things about other people's performances and other artists and all of that kind of stuff, whereas if you don't hit the subscribe button, then the subscription number doesn't go up. So a massive thank you to you guys, but thank you, Perry, for the kind words. And We've had another donation in there from Marge, and this is for $2. Thank you for that, Marge. And Sue has donated $20. Thank you so much for that, Sue. The message is, you are amazing, with a guy dancing around. So thank you for that, Sue. And Lucy has donated again, $4.99. And this time it's, I think, a high five. So thank you for that, Lucy. And we are going to be getting into the first video of the night very soon. But if you do get a chance to hit that thumbs up, be much appreciated. I'm going to move that a little bit. We are at 161 at the moment. And we are going to be having a pick roulette later on tonight. So look out for that, because it means we're going to have another lucky winner. And they'll be receiving their own Wings of Pegasus pick, which I do have down here in the little tin. And here we have it. There we go. That is the pick that will be sent off later on in the show tonight. So good luck, everybody, for that. And I do believe that we're going to be giving away a pick tin, one of these, on Saturday. And I'm pretty sure that I've got that right. So it's going to be just part of the celebration. I think it might be, or maybe I'm too late for this, but it's like a holiday over in the USA. I don't know whether it's a Thanksgiving holiday or just a national holiday or something like that, but to celebrate whichever holiday it is in the USA, we're going to be giving away a pick tin, a Wings of Pegasus pick tin on the pick roulette on Saturday, so make sure that you tune in to see that. Anyway, back into the super chat donations, because we've had a donation from Motown Girl 22 for $20. Thank you so much for that. And the message is, best analysis. I know so much more about musicians / singers than I ever did. So that's great. And thank you for that donation. And thank you for tuning in. And it's great that maybe I can tell you something you don't know about a particular musician or artist, or a stylistic technique that they use with singing or playing their guitar. Anything that I can point out, I will try to do that to help people along with understanding things on a little bit more of a deeper level. But thank you, Motown Girl 22, for that donation. And Orlando has donated again $2 and says, happy birthday, Lethea Page. So thank you for that, Orlando. And again, massive happy birthday to Lethea and Donna. I'm going to try and keep a lookout to see if it is in fact Donna's birthday, but I did read that earlier, I'm certain. But we'll get confirmation on that. Maybe when the first requested video is playing, you guys can let me know. I'll jump into the live chat room and we will find out if it's Donna's birthday as well. But let me just scroll down a little bit here, because Kathleen has donated $10. Thank you for that, Kathleen. And the message is, are there English country singers? And this is something that I mentioned last time about in the UK. We don't really have that much of a country scene going on, or at least not that I know about. It's not something that's mainstream at all, because it's just rock and pop. I say rock, it's probably not rock. I'm into hard rock and rock music, but I'd say it's more pop and probably rap, and R&B is the more mainstream genres. Maybe a bit of grime that we call it here in the UK, which is, I think, a mix of different genres, or at least it's got a bit of rap in there, and it's got a little bit of a hint of R&B. But yeah, definitely not mainstream country music in the UK. And just trying to find any country singers here is a bit of a nightmare. So it's something that, yeah, was brought up before. And I did put people over, or just point people in the direction of my friends who are from Essex, and you guys know Essex County. Hopefully you've been over to their page and checked them out, because they're in Nashville and they are signed and they write songs, and they're just such a fantastic group because they are brothers. And it is very much like a country kind of Bee Gees type feel, but without the really high voices, even though they've got amazing ranges. And they play their instruments. They're drummer, guitar, bass, and vocals, 3-part harmonies. So yeah, Essex County is the band that you want to check out for UK country artists, even though they are over in the USA, in Nashville. But thank you, Kathleen, for that donation. And we are going to be jumping into the first video of the night. So again, all of you guys over on Patreon, a huge shout out to you for requesting, or at least responding to my requests, or my request for requests. So thank you guys for doing that over on Patreon. We are going to be jumping into the first request, and this is one that I think was requested last week, but things just go so quickly in these live streams, we didn't actually get to play this. And it is going to be We Can't Fall Down, my song, that is going to be the live version of it. And I do believe that this was requested, and it was Lynn that requested this tonight. But if I remember, was it Mary maybe who requested this last week? That is just a really, well, a massive shot in the dark. I was going to say it's a really faint memory to see if Mary requested this last week. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but at least for tonight, Lynn has requested this over there, so thank you for that. And we're going to jump into it. I'm going to jump into the live chat room while this is playing, and I will see you guys in there, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock!
Got
And there we have it. That was my song called We Can Fall Down, the live version of it of course, but you can get that on my album called Persistence, which is available over at wingsofpegasus.com/store. It's also on iTunes and Amazon, but it's better for me if you go to my website, because then I don't have to give away a percentage. So let's get you guys back up on screen. And the other thing that I do notice in the live chat room is the way that as soon as we do start a video, as we've stated before on these live streams, if you type I agree and you can't see the live chat room on screen, it means that you're not going to be added to that wheel, because Carla needs to see this in order to add people when she then goes through it after the live stream. So I did see that as soon as Carla said don't post I agree, I don't know who it was, but somebody posted I agree with a thumbs up, just as a little bit of a joke, I do believe. But if you are wanting to be part of the pick roulette, make sure that you can see this and then post I agree. And that's if we even make it to the target. And the pick roulette likes target for tonight is 350. So it is a monster target for tonight. And we are at 192 at the moment. And it's 33 minutes past midnight already here in the UK. So we're going to maybe need to get a few more likes under our belts before we get to 350. It might be possible. We will have to see. But we are going to be having a pick roulette tonight, so stay tuned for that one. But let me get rid of that, and we're closing in on 196, so we're closing in on 200. Just 4 more required that we will be looking for in that live chat room. We are going to be jumping back into the super chat window because we've had a little bit of action in there, and we're going to have to scroll up. Thank you guys so much for these donations. And Patty has donated $3. Thank you for that, Patty. And the message is, hi Phil, any Christmas plans? And not at the moment. I haven't even checked to see when Christmas is in terms of which day it falls on and what that means for my schedule of videos that I normally do. Obviously I know that it's going to be on the 25th and that New Year's Day is going to be on the 1st, but when I do my live streams, it's either a Tuesday, the live analysis happens on a Wednesday, I then do a normal analysis on a Friday, Saturday's a live stream, then another normal analysis on a Sunday. So I don't know when it falls this year, so we will have to see what I'll be up to when Christmas happens and when the new year happens. So no plans at the moment. Also, we're just about to come out of another lockdown, and this is going to be happening next week. So next Wednesday, I think our lockdown stops, so it means that we can go back to doing normal things. And I think they've said that the government are allowing people to at least mingle with their family, or I'll have to check the rules because there's always some kind of limit with coronavirus as to how many people you can see. But I think I'm probably just going to be spending it with family, as I do every year with my nephews and my sister. We sometimes go over to her house and we get the whole family together as well. So it's something that, yeah, usually quite a full house normally, but I'm not sure whether that'll be possible this year depending on the rules, and it just depends how many people are allowed to be in the same room at the same time. But we will see. But thank you, Patty, for that donation. And Ken has donated $5. Thank you for that, Ken. The message is, Professor Rock with a guitar, Lil Buddy across the pond, Philadelphia brother with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Ken. And Philadelphia, or maybe just Philadelphia with an F would also work, but thank you for that, Ken. And Orlando's donated again, $2. Thank you for that. The message is, happy birthday, Donna Colwell. And this is lots of pictures of a balloon, I think, and then a cake and another cake, and some party things going off, and a present in there as well. So thank you for that, Orlando. And it is going to be Donna's birthday later on this week, on Thursday, if I read that correctly. And I think it is going to be Thanksgiving in the USA this weekend. So make sure that you do head over to the merch on Teespring if you are thinking of buying any merch, because that's when you'll get the 20% discount. And if you do it before then you won't get that discount. So make sure that if you are interested in getting anything, you can just leave it until then and then make some purchases. But I'll probably do that myself and get myself one of those nice purple and white mugs that everybody else has, but I don't have yet. So thank you for that donation, Orlando, and also for saying happy birthday to Donna. I'm sure everybody in the live chat room echoes those sentiments. And Vince has donated $10. Thank you for this, Vince. The message is, Phil, from live chat, someone asked, how do you feel about... I'm going to scroll up because I think I've lost where that went. And thank you for all of these donations. That just went straight down to the bottom and I missed all of that. But Phil, from live chat, someone asked, how do you feel about in-ear monitors versus speaker monitors? So thank you for that, Vince. This is a question that we've had before, and I won't go through it all again, but I myself have in-ear monitors because the one time that I had in-ear monitors and I told the guy at the desk to adjust the levels, I then got feedback from the mixer in my ears, which almost deafened me because it was so loud. So from then on, I thought, right, I'm just going to go effectively DI from my mic into my ears and then have an out from my in-ear monitoring system to then the mixer, so that I just heard my voice dry in the mic, but at least I was in control of the levels and that suited me. So that's what I tend to go for, because sometimes when you are playing a gig, you can't guarantee that you're going to have foldback or a monitor at the front of the stage, and then even if you do, you're relying on the sound guide to give you enough of your voice coming back at you, rather than having it too low in the mix and then you literally can't hear anything. You might just be able to hear the drummer, and then you can be singing and you literally can't hear your voice, especially if you're playing very loud. And this is why you see sometimes artists on stage put their finger in their ear in order to hear their voice within their head, because they can't hear it coming out of the monitor in front of them if they haven't got in-ear monitoring system. And sometimes you'll see somebody who does have in-ears and they'll take it out because they still can't get a clear representation of their voice, and then they'll put their finger in their ear in order to hear their voice. And that's something that you can do now. If you want to, put one finger in your ear and then you'll be able to get half a mix of your voice in the outside world and half a mix of your voice inside your head. And a lot of people do use that in order just to be able to hear their voice in some kind of capacity when you literally can't hear anything on stage because everything's so loud behind you. You can be shouting and you can't hear your voice. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Vince. And Linda Z has donated $20. Thank you so much for that, Linda. And the message is, this in at the deep end was great. E natural against E flat and all. Seems you both chatted more before and after playing, which was great. What are the chances of having Michael and or Daniel back for a go at a more difficult level? So thank you for that, Linda. And yes, myself and Daniel did talk for quite a long time. I think it's the same with Michael and I as well. The chat goes on for about an hour probably, and I know that certainly with Daniel we went on for well over an hour, because Daniel's an independent musician as well, so we had a lot of things to talk about because we see things in very much the same way, trying to do this music thing across the internet. And within this current generation of independent artists, it is an interesting time to be around and trying to sell your music and get yourself out there, and that's something that certainly Daniel is doing as well. So yeah, it's great to chat to people like Daniel and Michael, who are very much switched on with how it all works and the industry as a whole. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people, especially in the music industry and the people that own the record labels, don't know how the industry works. And this is why on YouTube, and I can tie this point in with something that I was doing last night, trying to check copyrights for the live analysis that's going to be happening tomorrow night, because the record labels are still blocking the use of their artists' material on YouTube, which means that they're missing out on not only a lot of exposure, but a lot of sales, because there's a whole new generation who are tuning into YouTube, and they're tuning into people's channels who might not even be singers or musicians themselves, but they're drawing attention to a particular artist or a particular band. But if the video gets blocked, it means that nobody can see that artist or band. So the way that I'm going to tie this in is that for tomorrow's live stream, I was initially going to do AC/DC, and I had the video done, and last night or on Mondays, I do a mock-up version of the video that I'm going to be doing, and it has to be over 10 minutes in length in order to be able to check the monetization to see if it's going to be blocked on copyrights. So I go through the process, I even kind of introduce it and just do an analysis video for over 10 minutes, including looking at the performance and just pointing things out, and then I upload it and I check, and after about an hour it was then blocked. So it meant that I couldn't do AC/DC. So it means I can't do AC/DC tomorrow night on the live analysis. So then the next band were Cream. So I went through exactly the same process. It takes about an hour to get through it all, and I uploaded and then waited, and sure enough, Cream got blocked as well. So we're not going to have any AC/DC or Cream on the live analysis videos, which is a real shame. But then we are going to be going for a little bit of Keith Whitley. And I love the fact that the list that I've got of requests is so diverse, because we have AC/DC followed by Cream, and then followed by Keith Whitley. And it's going to be an interesting one to do, because Keith is a country artist, or was a country artist. He started in bluegrass, and sadly, he did pass away at a very young age. I think it was around 34, something like that. But we'll be talking about that tomorrow, and also having a look at Keith performing live and breaking things down then. So that is going to be the live analysis video for tomorrow night. So make sure that you tune in, and it's going to start at 12 midnight here in the UK, exactly the same time that I start these live streams, but that is going to be a live analysis tomorrow night. So you can tune in and check that out live. The first one that we did of those was last week. That was Steve Winwood that I was looking at there, and that'll be on YouTube, so you can check that out to get a vibe of the live analysis and how it goes. But thank you, Linda Z, for that donation, and the chances of having Michael or Daniel back are very high, because they've said that they're up for doing anything in the future, and I'm sure that at some point either myself and Michael or myself and Daniel will have a go at one of those medium or hard backing tracks, because that would be interesting, because it's going to be insanely difficult. But anyway, thank you, Linda Z, for that. And Lisa has donated $5. Thank you for that, Lisa. The message is happy Thanksgiving to the US wingers on Thursday, with some cake, I think, and then something else that I can't make out. And maybe it looks like some fire or something, but thank you for that, Lisa. And it might be a turkey or something. I don't know what you eat on Thanksgiving, but I know that there is a lot of food going on. But thank you for that, Lisa. And Michael has donated $5. Thank you for that, Michael. The message is, hi wingers, late from Tech Problems. I agree, with lots of thumbs up. So thank you for that, Michael. Michael will be on that pick roulette wheel next week if we do hit that target. And we are up to 232 likes so far. We are aiming for 350, so still a ways to go on tonight's live stream, but fingers crossed we will get there. We will see what happens. We're aiming for 340 just as our general likes total, but the likes totals are getting way up there, and at some point I think the likes total has got to overtake the people watching, but we will see how we get on with that. But thank you, Michael, for that donation. And Shawnee has donated $5, and that's a straight up donation. Thank you for that. Lisa has donated $2. Thank you for that, Lisa. The message is, Christmas is on a Friday this year, so that will mean it would just be a standard analysis video that I'll be doing. And if Friday is Christmas Day and New Year's Day, it might be the case that I might not do an analysis video, or I might be doing one, I'm not sure. But I know that last year I was still able to do everything because Christmas Eve was I think it was a live stream. So that we did a Christmas Eve live stream and a New Year's Eve live stream. In fact, I know we did a New Year's Eve live stream. So last year it just fell on those days. And we will see what happens this year. I might be doing something, I might not be, but you'll know beforehand, because I would have live streamed probably literally a few days before to let you guys know. But anyway, thank you so much for that donation, Lisa. And Kay has donated $5. Thank you for this. And the message is, what is the most difficult time signature to learn? So thank you for that, Kay. And I think it's just a case of understanding time signatures rather than, you don't really have to learn a time signature. You just count out whatever the time signature's telling you to do. So obviously, the more complicated the time signature is, the higher the numbers that you'll have in the time signature. So when you're looking at time signatures that are more simple, for example, you've got 4/4, which is the standard that you will find in most pop songs where you literally just count to 4, then that's going to be easiest. And then you've got 3/4 as well. And 3/4 is when you count just to 3 for each bar. And you've also got double 3/4, which we've had on the channel sometimes as well, which is 6/8. And even though that looks a little bit more complicated when it's written down, it's just double 3/4. So it means that you can just count to 6 rather than 3 for each of your bars. And I'm not going to keep going through all the time signatures, but just to give you an idea, that once you start getting to 6/8 and you'll start to get a little bit higher and maybe see a 16 in there, you can start to see that it's going to look a little bit more complicated, but once you understand what you're counting to for each bar, then that is it. So as soon as you can kind of keep that organized in your head, then that is fine. And like I said, it's 6 or 3 in 3/4 you go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and as long as you know when the 1 comes in, you'll always be ready for that next bar. And obviously some compositions change time signature. It's easy for me to say, change time signature within the composition. So that's where you have to have your wits about you if that does happen. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Kay. And Lulu has donated $5. Thank you for that, Lulu. The message is, Phil, have you ever gone camping? And no, not proper camping. I know that one of my friends, when I was very young, had a tent set up in their garden for their birthday, and we just stayed, I don't know what age I was, maybe 8 or 9, and at that age it was fun to stay in a tent at night. I don't know why, it was very cold and uncomfortable, so I'm not sure why we decided to do that, especially in the UK in winter times as well. But I have never gone camping properly. It's not something that appeals to me when you're talking about proper camping. Maybe what they have in this country called glamping, which is like a glam version of camping. Maybe that'd be a bit better if it's maybe in a caravan and you've got gas there, so you can use a heater and maybe cook eggs and do that kind of stuff. That'll be a lot better. But that isn't really proper camping, I don't think. But anyway, I think there's more caravanning that would be called. But thank you, Lulu, for that. Selena has donated $10 and it's a straight up donation. Thank you for that, Selena. Cindy has donated $5 as well with a straight up donation. Thank you for that, Cindy. And Karen has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, hi Phil, have you ever came up with song ideas while in a compromised situation? That's happened to me when I'm driving. Thanks for all you do, Karen. So thank you for that. And I have occasionally when I'm driving, and then I just make sure that I keep on singing what I'm singing by the time I get to the end of the journey, and I just concentrate on keeping just that melody line going and maybe a chord that I'm hearing in my head behind that, and then I get my phone out and record it on there. So yes, I have. I'm not sure, it's maybe a situation where you can't record it instantly is probably something that a compromised situation maybe sounds like you've been caught out doing something that you shouldn't be doing or something like that. So yes, I have been caught out just in a situation where I don't have my phone at hand in order to record whatever I'm singing or thinking of in my head. But thank you for that, Karen. And Craig has donated $3. Thank you for that, Craig. And it's the guy doing the big thumbs up. And David has jumped in with the same guy doing a mic drop, and David has donated $5. So thank you for that, David. And we are going to be jumping into the requested video for tonight from a covers perspective. Again, thank you guys for this over on Patreon. And this is one that seemed to run and run, because I'm going to just scroll up to the top of all of these comments to see. And it was Orlando that requested this first. and then was backed up by, let me have a look, Lisa threw this in there as well, Teresa threw this in, and it was, I think, Teresa, the other Teresa, who threw this in as well. So all the Teresas in the house in that Patreon comment section tonight, and I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for all requesting this. It is going to be the classic and probably one of my favorite songs from the era of I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight by Cutting Crew. Classic 80s tune here. It's going to be my version of it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock!
Curtains are closed, the cat's in a cradle. Who'd have thought that a boy like me could come to this? Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your must have been some kind of kiss. I should have walked away. I should have walked away. Is there any just cause for feeling like this? On the surface of a name on the list, I tried to be discreet, but then blow it again. I've lost and found, it's my final mistake. She's loving by proxy, no give and no take, because I've been real to fantasy one too many times. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been some kind of kiss. I should have walked away. I should have walked away. It was a long, hard night. She made it easy, she made it feel right. But now it's over, the moment is gone. I follow my hands, not my head. I know I was I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been some kind of kiss.
there we have it. That was my version of I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. And I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thank you for requesting that one. I don't know why I said it like that. Requesting that one over on Patreon. Requesting that one. So, trying to put on a more of a radio DJ kind of sound for some reason. I do not know why. But hopefully this is all coming across okay. Let me get you guys up on screen, because when the live chat room is up on screen, that is the time to then put in the comment I agree and then a big thumbs up. Now, the thing that is putting me off ever so slightly, and probably the reason why I said the word in such a ridiculous way a second ago, I'm getting feedback of my own voice about half a second after I'm talking, and I don't know why that's happening. It's just literally started now, so that's very entertaining for me to be hearing myself, and it is like I'm in some kind of arena at the moment, but I'll try and sort that out maybe when we get into the pick roulette. And I don't know if this is the same for you guys, whether you can hear my voice happening twice about half a second apart, but if you could let me know in the live chat room, that would be great. I don't know if it's just coming out of the speakers at me, in which case I can deal with it and it is absolutely fine. But let's just have, it's very funny to hear myself talking a little bit after I've just been talking. But if you do get a chance to hit that thumbs up, it would be massively appreciated, because we are aiming for 340 likes tonight, and we are at 283, so maybe we can have a quick spike of the likes at almost 1 a.m. here in the UK. We will see where we get, because we are aiming for 350, I think, is the pick roulette's target for tonight. There is the confirmation in the corner of the screen. So we have a little bit of a ways to go yet. Maybe 65 is that to get to the pick roulette likes target. Fingers crossed that we can get there. If you haven't used your thumbs up token yet, it'll be much appreciated if you could do that, because it helps this channel to get out there, for the live streams to get out there as well, and just helps the channel to grow as a whole. So we are going to be jumping back into the super chat window, because we have had a bit of action in there. Let me get rid of that, and let me have a little look. We have Michael again, who has donated $5. Thank you for that, Michael. And the message is, in Texas, camping means you are homeless. So thank you for that, Michael. And yes, it's probably something that is very similar to camping. I mean, if you're doing camping properly, I think they just put up a tent and have a sleeping bag, and that's pretty much what, unfortunately, homeless people have to go through. Sometimes they don't even have a tent, and I don't know what they do in the winter. There seems to be so many derelict buildings, especially in and around London, that surely could be converted into a place where at least homeless people can have some shelter, especially away from the conditions in the winter, because it gets so cold, and the wind as well, with the wind chill. But hopefully that's something that governments and communities and the local government, and I guess it's the councils that will have to deal with all of that, but that's something that I would probably jump on if I was in a council position. But anyway, thank you for that donation, and I'm gonna have to scroll up, but thank you for that, Michael. And Lynn has donated $100, so thank you so much for that very kind donation, Lynn. And the message is, Died in Your Arms gets a lot of love and money. Thanks for this great cover. So thank you for that, Lynn, and thank you for your donation, and I'm glad that you liked the cover. Thank you for the kind words. And Hayden has donated $20. Thank you so much for that, Hayden. And the message is, can you possibly check out the song Surf's Up by the Beach Boys? Hardest song musically I've ever seen. So thank you for that, Hayden. I can add that to my list, and thank you for that donation as well. Liz is in the house and has donated $20. Thank you for this, Liz. And it's a hippo, I think, jumping around saying victory. So thank you for that. And fingers crossed we will get some victory with the likes tonight as well. It looks like we're almost at 300. 3 people in order to get up to 300. 297 at the moment. So thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. And we have Ray in the house as well, who has donated $100. Thank you so much for that, Ray. And the message is, keep well. I love how you got excited by the thought of a hard in at the deep end track. You seem to love a challenge. Great attitude. You are a great teach in more ways than one. So thank you so much for that, Ray. And it is something that as a musician, and I think just my personality, I do like a challenge. So if there's an opportunity to play along with something that is difficult and I haven't heard before, then I like the idea of that challenge. And I know that a lot of people like to play along with progressions that are difficult that they've heard before. And for me, that is something that, again, you know where it's going. So you could literally map out all of your playing before the song even starts or before the backing even starts. And you know that for the next however long, you're going to be absolutely fine because you know all the keys. So you can, if you want to, play arpeggios and scales of all of the corresponding keys that you're going to be going through. So for me, that's... it's fun to do, just jamming, especially with other people when you all know the key. But the challenge for me is not knowing the key, because I think every guitarist watching this will agree that if you know the key, it is easy. You can just play along and all of the notes will be right. As long as you are in tune, you know exactly where to put your finger in order to play along with every key that might be within that progression that you already know. Whereas as soon as you don't know the progression, it means that you've now got to make music through your instrument, and you've got to do that consciously, off the cuff. And that's what I enjoy. I like singing through the guitar because that's effectively what it is to me. Because I've mentioned before about when you hear any song that you haven't heard before, you can sing along to it and come up with your own lines, melodic lines, because you're consciously doing it while having that stimulus of the music going in. You know what key it is, and you might not even know that it's either in C minor or A minor or G. You just know that what you're singing goes with that, and that's what I like to do on the guitar, to just find what goes with it and then sing through the instrument, because that's kind of how I approached playing in the first place. Was I couldn't sing, so I wanted to be able to sing through the guitar what I was thinking of, and that's why I enjoy effectively singing over tracks that I've never heard before, but through the guitar. I think it is a big challenge in order to understand your instrument to that level, to be able to do that. And I understand that, yeah, some people don't want to do it, and that's absolutely fine, but it's great that I can find other people like Michael and Daniel who say, look, we're up for doing it, we might make mistakes, but that is the whole point, that you don't learn unless you make mistakes. And the best guitarists in the world always make mistakes. It probably is the case that when they're being filmed, they are playing always to something they know the progression of, because, yeah, there isn't really anything on the internet that shows somebody playing along with something that they've never heard before, apart from In at the Deep End, which is the reason that I wanted to start it, just to show to other people that do play, who do make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. It doesn't matter what level you play at. The best guitarists in the world are constantly making mistakes. It's just they're not being filmed while they're doing it, and that is just the half of it. That's what practice is all about. But anyway, thank you so much, Ray, for that donation and for watching In at the Deep End as well. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully we can spread the word about it, and the more word spreads, the more guitarists we can have on, and we can maybe start doing a few more of them, a few more regularly. But thank you, Ray, for that donation. And Patty has donated again, and this is $2. Thank you so much for that. And the message is, loving this cover, with a smiley face and a guitar. So thank you for those kind words. And Music Maiden has donated $5. Thank you so much for that. And the message is, Liza Minnelli sounds just like her mother, Judy Garland, especially her vibrato. Is that something inherited? And yes, definitely. It's something that Liza would have grown up listening to her mother's voice, and vibrato is something that either, if you've been singing from a very young age, you pick up naturally by listening to another singer. In this case, Liza would have been listening to Judy and would have been storing that not as a vocal technique, but just as the way to sing. And in exactly the same way that when children grow up, they learn how to talk and they learn from their parents how to talk. And that goes for pronunciation and how to get a word to sound like that word with the use of the tongue and the different placements, the resonance, the nasality of a particular sound. It's something that a child will learn automatically, and they haven't been told, right, in order to say this word correctly, you have to put the tongue to the top of your mouth to make it a little bit more nasal sounding, and then you'll get the correct pronunciation. They just do it, and it's exactly the same for singing. It is a language. So children will pick up the vibrato and all of the stylizations that their parents use. And I think in Judy's case, it was natural with her as well, because she had been singing from such a young age. And it is interesting because you can get somebody who has learned to sing later on in life, and then if they sing a lot in front of their child, the child will now automatically learn the techniques that the parent had to learn from scratch, such as vibrato and pitch, all these kinds of things. And it's something that I can see in my nephews when they are singing along to something. They are already starting to get the pitch. Or they're not thinking about it, they're doing it automatically, because my sister will sing to them and my sister will sing in key. So they just naturally pick up that ability to sing because it is a language. They're treating that in exactly the same way as they treat words and language. Pitch is just exactly the same thing. They know where to place it, not because they know that they're singing an A or they're singing a G. They just remember that that's where mum sang it, or that's where mum said it, so that's where they're going to say it. And it's just information that the brain is seeing it as. And that's the great thing about music. If you start early, you learn it as a language and you can talk that language of music. But the great thing is that you can then analyze people who have learned the language of music, and you can learn the language yourself. And that's the great thing, that anybody can learn to sing, anybody can learn to play an instrument, because the language is already there. It's just about analyzing it, breaking it down. And that's what every fantastic artist of the past has done. Even if they started singing from a young age, they had somebody that they watched, that they idolized, and then learned to sing like that person and started to use the stylizations and copy that person from a young age. So anyway, that is something that you could talk about and I could talk about for years, but thank you, Music Maiden, for that donation and the question. Paul has donated £27.50. Thank you for that, Paul. The message is, great to be here tonight. So what was the decision for a Cream analysis? Still hoping for Crossroads Live, if you can find a vid that will work. So thank you for that, Paul. Unfortunately, Cream is, as a band, copyright blocked, so I can't go there with a live analysis, as are AC/DC. They're blocked as well. So we're going to be getting a little bit country tomorrow night with the live analysis. We're going to be taking a look at Keith Whitley. That'll be happening tomorrow night live. So you can tune in for that. I'm still going to be pointing out things that are relevant across all genres. So it's going to be great to get a little bit of country music going on. And yes, that is one that I think is going to be okay on copyrights. It's just a shame that the record labels still are blocking videos where it's something that, again, is a little bit counterproductive, because it's pushing out videos to a large audience who might then go and check out the music and buy it, especially if they haven't heard it before. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. But thank you, Paul, for that. Mark has donated $20. Thank you so much for that, Mark. It's a straight up donation. And Paul has donated again $5. Thank you, Paul. The message is also, In at the Deep End with Daniel Donato was terrific. Best so far. So thank you for that, Paul. And there's only been 2. So thank you for those kind words. I think as we progress, the process is going to become a little bit smoother, and myself and Michael on that first one, we're just trying to see how it works, and I was trying to see how I could get it to work as a format. It was almost like a pilot of it, because you have to just test how it goes, and also setting up the audio, everything that I had to do. Fortunately now it's a little bit easier because of the software that I bought in order to organize the audio and keep it organized. So organize the audio and keep it organized. There is a lot to organize with the audio. So even though I'm saying that word a lot, you'll have to take my word for it that it is a complicated process to get everything working at the same time. But thank you so much for that, Paul. We are now going to be jumping into the pick roulette for tonight. So just a quick warning, do not post I agree now in the live chat room. I said do not post I agree now in the live chat room, because that is about to disappear. Because when we go into the pick roulette, it takes up the whole screen and nothing else is on screen. So do not post I agree, because it won't be seen by Carla. And if we do make it to 350 likes tonight on the live stream, then your name won't be on that pick roulette wheel next week. You have to wait till after this little segment that we're about to jump into. So everybody, prepare yourself for the pick roulette. And if you did type I agree last week, then you'll be on this wheel. And again, thank you so much, Carla, for sorting this all out. It is much appreciated. But let's first of all get rid of these squares on the screen to make sure. We probably will keep the patrons going across the screen because that happens throughout the whole live stream, but we will get rid of the super chat. That'll be fine, and fingers crossed we're now going to be able to jump into it. So let's get into the pick roulette for this Tuesday night. Rock. So here we go. The pick roulette wheel is now up on screen. So good luck everybody on that wheel. We're going to do exactly the same thing as we always do. As you guys know, if you are regular watchers, we shuffle 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we spin. So good luck everybody for tonight's pick roulette. Sponsored by Wings of Pegasus. So maybe we could get a sponsor for this in the future. Who knows? It could become huge and everyone wants a Wings of Pegasus pick. But at the moment, it's just me talking over the screen. So we will see where we end up. Let's see who we've got going through. It's starting to slow down quite a lot. So we've got SJ Willis, Susan and Dennis are there. They've just gone through. Lulu is just going through as well. Tessa is just going through. King Nero, is it going to stop? Is it going to stop? Is it going to stop? Or are we getting to Karen? It is King Nero who has won the pick roulette for tonight. So congratulations to King Nero, and we know that he is in here somewhere and in the live chat room somewhere. So King Nero, make yourself known to Carla in the live chat room, and we will be sending a pick over to King Nero. So congratulations for that, and again, commiserations to everybody else on that pick roulette wheel. But the good news is that there is going to be another pick roulette on Saturday. So just in case you were watching last Saturday and you did type I agree, you will be on Saturday's pick roulette wheel. So look out for that one. And again, congratulations King Nero for picking yourself up, and no pun intended, for picking yourself up a Wings of Pegasus pick. And there it is. I had it in my hand already, and it's got some guy's signature on the back. I don't know who that is, but hopefully you guys can join in next week as well. We are at 332 likes, so it means that we're looking for 18 more likes to get ourselves across that like threshold for next week's live, well, the pick roulette that will happen on the live stream next week. So let me get the live chat room up on screen, because just in case it does happen, you guys will need to type I agree with a thumbs up while this live chat room is visible. And as you can see, it's visible at the moment, so it's a good time to do it. And if you haven't used your thumbs up yet, it would be much appreciated. It looks like we are looking at 16 more people, 334. That's where we are at the moment. We are getting there. Let me get the target up on screen just in case you don't know what it is. 350 is what we're aiming for. And it's already 1:15 here in the morning. So we're going to have to be calling this to a close really quickly. What I might do is keep the stream going a little bit longer to give you guys a chance to type I agree in here, just in case we can find 12 people before the end of the live stream. and it might be something that we can achieve. Maybe I should play another video. I know that over on Patreon that Percy Johnson was requested quite a lot. Orlando threw that one in there. Also, let me have a little scroll down to see if maybe it's just my imagination, to see if anybody else requested it. Oh no, Teresa requested this as well, so thank you for that. Kevin requested this as well. Teresa has requested it, the other Teresa. And I think Lulu as well is in there, and Deborah. So there were a lot of requests for this. So let's jump into my song called Percy Johnson. And while this is playing, even though it is a lyric video, I'm going to get rid of everything else that is on the screen so you guys can see the live chat room, so that when Carla watches this back, she can grab the names from the live chat room. So if you do want to be on the wheel for next week's live roulette or live stream, pick roulette, then make sure that you type I agree now and before the end of the live stream. But let me just get this song up on screen. We'll jump into the Percy Johnson song, which is mine, available on my album called Persistence. And I'm going to try and keep some things on screen. So this might work, it might not work, but hopefully the live chat room will stay on screen. It might not. If it doesn't, then I'll have to try and drag the layers up to the top, but we will see what happens. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. Rock! And there we have it. That was my song called Percy Johnson. I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and I hope it gave you a little bit more time to jump into that live chat room and post I agree if you want to be part of next week's Pick Roulette, and it might be your lucky day next week. Who knows? But also, we have hit the target. Tonight we're at 352 and the target was 350, so there is going to be a Pick Roulette next week. So this is the time, everybody who wants to be involved, and it's just going to be a case of putting your name down by typing I agree. You can put a thumbs in or not, it doesn't really matter, but just I agree in capital letters. Make sure it stands out so that Carla can see it and add your name to that roulette wheel next week. This is a good time to do it. We are almost at 25 past 1, so it is a little bit of a late live stream tonight, but just to give you guys a few extra seconds to type in I agree. And before we finish, we have had a little bit of action in the super chat window, and Paul is in there again and has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, Pick Roulette sponsor, I'm interested, let me know when you're free for lunch. So thank you for that, Paul. And yes, I don't know about the legal implications of doing a sponsor thing on YouTube, whether that's even allowed on live streams, but who knows. But thank you, Paul, for throwing your hat into the something. Throwing your hat in. What am I trying to say here? There's an expression that my brain is not giving me, but it involves a hat. So thank you for maybe throwing your hat in the ring or something like that. I don't know, but thank you anyway for doing whatever the expression is that I can't even think of. But thank you, Paul, for the donation as well. King Nero has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, Carla, please get with Pamela Alford. The pick is hers because she never wins anything, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, King Nero. And I think if we were giving picks to everybody who never won anything, then we'd be giving picks to everyone, because I think pretty much most people go through that phase of thinking that they just never win anything and just enter everything, but yeah, never get lucky. I think that's a very common life story. But thank you, King Nero, for that donation. And Bonnie has donated $20 as well. Thank you so much for that, Bonnie. And that's a thumbs up with some rock horns as well. So thank you for that. And Orlando has donated $5. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is, thank you for playing all the requests. Great job tonight. Rock with lots of rock horns as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. And I think that I saw somewhere in the chat room while that was going on about throwing your hat into the ring. Maybe that's the expression. I'm not sure. Did I say that? I might have said that. So maybe my brain got it right or got it half right. I can't remember. But that's what I meant. So thank you, Paul, previously. Just imagine that I said that and now it all makes sense. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight and for hitting that thumbs up. We did hit that target of an insane 350 likes. If you are watching this in the future on catch up, you can still hit that thumbs up. Obviously, this has now happened in the past, so you won't see your comment up on screen. These streams happen at 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, so you can check on Google to see if that is a time that corresponds with your time zone, and if it doesn't, then it's already happened, but you can still watch it on catch up. You can still hit that thumbs up. It all helps for this channel to get out there, to grow, and for these live streams to get out there as well. And I can see that Lulu's just popped into the super chat window with a $5 donation. Thank you for that. And it's a cat, I believe, saying bravo. So thank you for that, Lulu. And just in case anybody else is going to jump in there, I'm going to be calling things to a close now. So don't donate because I might not see it. But thank you for every donation tonight and for all of you guys for tuning in. Just a quick shout out to the live analysis that's going to be happening tomorrow night, and it's going to be the same start time as a live stream, so you can check that out. We'll be doing a little bit of analysis and a little bit of country analysis, and that's going to be on Keith Whitley tomorrow night. So make sure that you check that out live if you want to, but it will also be available as a standard analysis video after the fact. So thank you for joining me, everybody. I will be over on Patreon tonight, as always, checking the messages over there, and on Facebook probably a little bit later on, and over on Patreon. If you do want to get involved yourselves, you can head to the link here, patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. This is the support and the site that provides the support through the amazing patrons at the bottom of the screen that also pop up in the super chat window, but they make everything possible, and that's where the support comes from. So thank you guys for being a patron of mine over there at patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. It also happens, or so happens, that you get your name on the live streams if you join in over there, and you get a direct link to me. You can message me there personally, and I always check my inbox every night and respond to all of the messages there. So thank you guys for all of your messages over on Patreon. So we're going to be calling this to a close now. Thank you everyone for joining me. I'll see you at tomorrow night's live analysis if you're going to be around. And if not, there'll be another standard analysis video on Friday and another live stream on Saturday night with a celebrationary pick giveaway and tin giveaway, because it's Thanksgiving in the USA, which I have now learned from tonight, which is great. And look out for that 20% off on all of the Teespring merchandise. So wait for that to pop in. I'll mention when that's happening and when you can put in that Wings code and save yourselves a little bit of money. But thank you guys so much for joining in tonight with me, and I will see you guys. Just a quick shout out, because the moderators as well, thank you for doing such a great job. And a quick shout out to the live chat window that we can see here. Leanne, Cindy, Fred, Karen, Lulu, Leanne, Kevin, Jeannie, Neil, Billy, Susan and Dennis is still in there, Orlando, Christy and Teresa and Chris, oh no, it's Jeannie, Sue, King Nero, Laurie and Lou. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight, and all of you guys, I'll see you again live on Saturday night and live for another analysis tomorrow night if you can make it. So I will see you guys then. Rock!